Alright, so in today's video, I'm going to break down exactly how I made 500k for coaches so that you can implement it into your own coaching business and just scale. Alright, so let's get into it. Alright, now I'm gonna show you all the proof. So I made my client 177k. You can see 15k here. You can see 10k, 127k. You can see 74k, right? So this is all the proof. And in today's video, I'm gonna really break down what you actually need to like solve all your bottlenecks so you can go from like feeling lost, you're stuck, and you don't understand what bottlenecks you need to solve, to actually solving your bottlenecks and really just scaling, alright? So I'm gonna break this video into like 5 steps for you to understand very, very simply. So the first thing is the ICP and the offer. The second thing is the messaging. The third thing is content, then sales and fulfillment. All right. So let's cover this. And I color coded them. All right. So the first thing you have to nail down is your ICP and your market research, because you need to understand your ideal customer so well that you speak to their pains, fears, and desires so that you actually resonate with them. You resonate with their problems and what they're dealing with, right? So the goal is to actually give your customer what they want and sell them what they need. You shouldn't be actually giving them what they need in the content, and you should be giving them what they want, all right? So when you give them what they want, and I'm going to give you an analogy here. So for example, if I give you coffee and you don't drink coffee and you absolutely don't want it, you discuss it, you hate it, no matter what I do to convince you of drinking coffee, no matter how much you need it, it won't work, right? You wouldn't want the coffee. But if I give you tea and you really want tea and all you drink is tea, I don't even need to convince you at that point. You would just want tea and it will be an easy yes. Alright, so that's the analogy that I'm giving you. So applies to the same thing. Give your customer what they want and sell them what they need. Alright, so if we don't know what our audience wants, right, we can't speak to their language, we can't resonate with them, and we can't position our product and service in a way where we can make them want it. Right? These are the 2 biggest mistakes that I see so many coaches, consultants, and a lot of people in the high ticket space make. They first assume what their ideal customer wants. When you assume, you have vague marketing, you have generic language that you speak to your audience and you don't resonate with them, right? And you're attracting the wrong people into your ecosystem in your content. You just can't sell high ticket. You just can't like resonate with the right audience that you really want, and therefore don't understand your ideal customer enough. You didn't do the market research. This is the 2 biggest mistakes that a lot of people make. All right, so the thing is, the biggest regret is to create an offer or make content that resonates with no one, and you're targeting the wrong customer, and you just make little to no money. All right, so when you don't fully understand your ideal customer, you will go back and forth, you will create an offer with vague messaging and stuff like that, and you will just try to validate it in the market, and there's no resonance, there's no offer resonance, and people won't buy. You just go back and you will think is it my content, is it my messaging? You just think about everything else that's not the ICP and not the market research. So I see a lot of bottlenecks that occur if you don't do market research or understand your ICP. So the first thing is there's no offer resonance. There's wrong targeting or messaging within your content or your traffic. There's poor lead quality as a result. There's low conversion rates. You get unqualified sales calls, and therefore with all of this, you'll make little to no sales. All right. So I see this with so many offers, and this is the biggest needle mover that you can make at the start to not fuck up with your whole offer, with your whole content and stuff like that. All right. So once we nail this down, you'll be good. All right. So you have to ask yourself, who are they? You have to ask about their demographics, where they're living, what's their age range and stuff like that. What's the buyer's worldview? What's the daily routine or lifestyle that they have? What's the current situation? What's their dream outcome or desired outcome? What's their buying triggers? What's the objections? What's their beliefs that they have? What's the limiting beliefs or beliefs that they have? What's the language or stories that they tell themselves? Where do you find them? What's your ideal customer? What makes an ideal customer good or a bad fit? And a personality summary of everything. All right. Once you understand that, you can create an offer that people will pay thousands and like 5K, 10K for high ticket, depending on the market, of course, and make sure that it stands out in the market, all right? So we don't want to create like commodity offers. We want to create category of one offers that is unique and specific to you, all right? So people don't buy coaching, mentorships, or products or solutions or offers. They buy outcomes and they buy transformations, all right? So people love seeing the destination at the end. We don't sell them like what gets them there. We don't sell them the plane ticket that gets them there. We sell them like Maldives, we sell them Costa Rica, we sell them outcomes and transformations, all right? Then that's why when we understand our ICP, that's where we can understand like what's their dream outcome, what do they want, and we can market to that, all right? So here are a few offer components that you need to nail down to create like a category of one offer. So the first thing is the ICP, who you help. The second thing is a valuable outcome. The third thing is a time frame. The fourth thing is risk reversal and guarantee. The fifth thing is a structured delivery. And the sixth thing is the unique mechanism. All right. So once you nail all this down, you'll be able to create an offer that's so good that people just can't say no to. So people will think it's a no-brainer, and yeah, like you just gotta market to the outcomes and the transformations. All right. So once we do this, and once we create an offer, right, using our ICP and market research, we will then be able to like create messaging and position our offer in the market so that people will actually want it and believe it will work for them and feel confident in buying from you. All right. So there's 3 sales that you have to make before someone buys. There's 3 sales like people will make in their head. So they will ask these few questions. All right. The first thing is the outcome. All right. So is this the reality or desire that I want? And that's why when you understand your ICP, like it will resonate with their desires, right? So that's why you can make sense with them, all right? So the second thing is the method. So does your method, does your unique mechanism, like all your process, all your way of getting there, like make sense for my situation, all right? So the third thing is you. So do I trust you to help me solve my problems, all right? So there's so many offers in the market right now. If you're in fitness or like dating, there's so many offers. So why should I trust you to like solve my problems, all right? These are the 3 sales people make. You have to like market to make sure someone buys, all right? So you have to answer all these 3 questions. And it applies to everywhere. So when we position our offer and our messaging, we have to like really understand like market positioning and like use our like market research and make sure we communicate our offer in front of them. All right, so that they see that we understand their problems. They will just buy for like us, and also like what we are talking about makes sense. All right, so this applies to everywhere. So it applies to ads, your VSLs, your content, emails, your IG captions, right? Your DMs, lead magnets, and story posts. All right, so it applies to everywhere, and that's why when I said like you nail down your ICP, like market research, like you can really just plug and play everything. All right, you can plug and play everything, and yeah, you just market to your ideal customer. All right, so once this 3 like steps is done, like the next thing we'll go to is the content. All right, within the content, it's an ecosystem. Right now, there's 2 major platforms that you should use to like market your services, all right, or your coaching business. All right, so the first thing is Instagram. So Instagram is used for awareness content and to bring in eyeballs and actually convert them. All right. With Instagram, like everyone's providing the same solution. You're probably thinking like, how can I stand out? Why would someone like buy from you instead of other people? All right. So you have to think in that sort of sense, and you can use all these like stuff. All right. And I'm going to talk about the profile of optimization first. So when someone looks at your reels, your ads, and stuff like that, right? Your traffic sources, right? What do they see? They see the profile optimization. When they see your profile, basically, they'll look at your followers, they'll look at who you're helping in the bio, what's your social proof, they'll look at all your highlights, right? And they'll look at all your posts, all right? So optimizing your profile is really, really important. They'll be asking like, who is this person? How can this person help me? Is his content valuable? Does he know what he's talking about? All right. So they will be asking all these questions, and you have to like optimize your profile in a way where they will answer all these questions, all right, in their head. The second thing is reels. So when you're making reels, there's 3 components or there's 3 things that you have to make in your content. First of all, build a personal brand and actually like make sales with your personal brand and marketing, all right? So the first thing is authority, all right? So with authority, like you have to, it basically helps you build admiration and so that people will listen to you, all right? So they see you as an authority, they see you as the expert, and they will actually listen to whatever you're saying, all right? The second thing is authenticity, right? People don't buy for like offers or products and stuff like that. People buy for people. And you have to actually build a connection so that they lower their guards and they can open up to you easily. So if they resonate with you as a person and they feel like they're able to see you as a friend, friends like open up with each other like very easily, right? And that's how you want to like position yourself. You want to be authentic, you want to be genuine, so that people lower their guards and they trust you and they are able to like easily have a conversation with you, all right? And the third thing is growth. You want to get eyeballs so that people know you, all right? It's not about just like making value content or authority content and stuff like that. It's also about getting the eyeballs so that people know you in the first place. And yeah, you can actually show authenticity and authority, all right? So the thing is like, with all of this, right, it's so easy to like make content because like you have already done your ICP, all right? So the next thing is to actually like come up with, like you have all their problems and you know all their problems so that you can actually market to like all of these 3 things, right? You can market to help them see that you're authority, you can show authenticity and resonate with their lifestyles, with their who they want to become, and you can actually like grow at the same time, all right? You can go like a little viral, and the thing is we don't want to go extremely viral, right? We just want to get enough eyeballs and the right eyeballs onto our stuff. With content, I always tell my clients to like make problem awareness content, and problem awareness content is basically you understanding your problems and marketing to those problems and like solving solutions, all right? So the first thing you can do is like do objection handling content. So take all your sales calls, like what are the objections that they have, and you can just like market to that. You can just like solve that, all right? You solve all their problems with that. You can do eye-opening content. It's like you can open their eyes to what's possible. And like, for example, you living in Bali, like you just like opening their eyes up to like possibilities, and like they don't have to grind 16-hour days to like build their business and stuff like that, all right? The third thing is proof, your own proof, like what you have achieved. The fourth thing is belief shifting. So with belief shifting, you should understand all their limiting beliefs, like what their false beliefs are, their limiting beliefs are, and like stuff like that. And you basically like market to that, and you shift their beliefs so that they see things in a different perspective, all right? The fifth thing is personal stories and transformation. So your own personal stories and vulnerability to like your story, because like a lot of people don't do this. They're not vulnerable to their own story, and like vulnerability like really works, all right? So when you're vulnerable, like people just like truly resonate with that and people relate to that, all right? So the sixth thing is social proof and value education content, all right? So social proof is your client results, your client breakdowns, and value and education is basically just like you showing that you're authority and you know what you're talking about, all right? So it all relates, right? So the authority stuff can be value education, can be objection handling, can be belief shifting. The authenticity can be your personal story, can be eye-opening, can be whatever, and growth can be like everything. And that's what I tell my clients to do. Like these are the few like content types that you should like make, all right? So the third thing is the stories, right? So with stories, this is the best thing you can do, because like once someone is in your ecosystem, right, they are in your reels, they are in your profiles, right, they follow you and stuff like that, they'll be able to see your stories. And that's where you can sell them, and that's where you can push CTAs, and that's where you can just really like push them to like actually DM you or actually like buy from you. You can do this with posts. You can post your lifestyle and your story. You can post belief shifting content, and you can post like CTAs. All right. So you can do every single one of these types of stories. And that's where you'll be able to push people to actually buy your stuff. All right. So once we solve like the Instagram problem, right? The thing is with Instagram content, people can only see like 60 seconds of a reel or 60 seconds of a video from you. All right. But they're not able to like really understand who you are as a person. They really can't like learn more from you and stuff like that. And that's why we go to YouTube. All right. So with YouTube, it's basically nurturing content and consumption content. All right. So people can easily consume like tons of pieces of content and really understand who you are as a person and really learn from you. All right. So this is where you bring your ICP towards. And this is where you actually can solve their problems in a longer like time horizon. We use the 7-11 4 rule. All right. So before someone makes a purchase, they need 7 hours of consumption of your content. They need 11 touch points across 4 platforms, all right? So they usually just need like 7 hours of content, and like they need the right type of content so that they can see you as their authority, right? You're authentic, you're showing who you are as a person, and yeah, it's growth, all right? Growth, like content would be actually like pushing them towards like YouTube, and that's the people that actually wants to solve a problem. All right, these are your ideal customers. All right, so it's the easiest way to get someone from a stranger to a buyer in like really easily right now. Like YouTube is the best thing. Let me ask you this then. Where do you find information? Where do you go to when you want to learn something? You just go to YouTube, right? And YouTube is for education purposes, and that's where like people spend like thousands and thousands of hours like consuming content. And the thing is, when I'm gonna talk about the authenticity part here, all right? So when you're consuming like thousands and thousands of hours of content, right? Let's say you search up a celebrity, right? When you consume like hours of their content, you feel like you understand them. You feel like you're familiar with that person. That's a feeling we want to like bring up so that they will actually like understand who we are as a person, and actually like we know what we're talking about, and we can actually like get them from like their current situation to their desired outcome. All right. So the same thing applies. We do problem awareness content. So there's 4 types of content that you can actually do. All right. So there's client breakdowns and value education content, belief shifting, and personal story. All right. So this personal story part is the authenticity part. This is the problem, like you solving their problems, you like changing their beliefs or what you learned from your own experiences, right? That's also authenticity, right? So value and education is you like doing like authority content, and client breakdowns is actually like authority content, all right? So yeah, so we make sure we have a description and make sure we have a call booking link, all right, in the description. And same applies, right? Once like people like look at your stuff and they consume enough of your stuff, they'll be actually like DMing you, and yeah, they will feel like it resonates with them, and like you can actually help them, and they will actually like go to your DMs, all right? So here's the appointment setting framework that I plug and play into my clients' like business. This is the formula. I'm not gonna go too in depth into it, but thank them for the interest first, all right? So then we qualify them and find the problem or the pain that they have. Then we find the gap where they are right now and where they want to be in the future, right? So the next thing is to transition to the call and like actually help them and talk to them and discuss their problems, and then book a call. All right. So I'm not going to go too in depth into this. This is super simple. And all you have to do is to have a conversation with them instead of like selling them to book a call, right? We don't want to be salesy here. We want to actually have a conversation like we are a friend, all right? That's a secret thing that you want to have, all right? So the next thing is the sales process. Yeah, within these 5 pillars here, the next thing is sales. The sales process is pretty simple. I'm gonna dumb it down into the simplest form. Once they book a call, right? Like they will look at a thank you page of some sort, and you actually like go to 2 routes, all right? Unless you're doing a funnel, you can do a thank you page. If you don't have a funnel or some sort of like landing page or whatnot, like you don't have to do a thank you page, you can actually like do DM reconfirmations, all right? So you can actually send sales trust assets so that this increases show up rates, and this will actually warm up the customer before they buy. All right. I always like make like either client breakdown videos, VSL breakdown videos, or closer podcasts. And within all these videos, like it will actually show them like the opportunity. It will handle objections, it will shift beliefs, and yeah, it will really just warm up the prospect so that everything makes sense till they hop on the call and they will actually close. All right. I will send like 1 hour reminders on like DMs. I wouldn't like spam it. Probably like on the morning of the call, like I will get my setters to like remind them on the morning itself, and actually like 1 hour before the call. All right. So I will get my setters to call them and stuff like that. And this is what I actually do for my clients. All right. So the second thing you can do is to actually like get them to confirm the call on their emails. So you will basically see like yes or no if they are attending, right? And then we will send them like reminders, right? 24-hour reminders, 6-hour reminders, and 1 hour reminders. And that way, like they'll be super warmed up. And within all these reminders, there will be like emails that actually like talk about client results, like who he is or who the client is as a person and stuff like that. And yeah, they will basically like shift beliefs and handle objections in those emails. The last part is that we have like a AI that qualifies the lead, and like it will actually analyze the quality of the lead. All right. So we'll actually have that so that we can make sure that the lead is qualified, and if they are not really qualified, they are not like a good fit, I will just get my sellers to call them and stuff like that. All right. So once they close, the next thing to do is to fulfill, right? The first thing you have to do is to actually make sure that your client is certain about what they're actually purchasing, right? When they purchase your stuff, they don't want to have buyer's remorse, and that's the first thing I'm gonna tell you here. Like people don't want buyer's remorse. Whenever you buy something that's thousands of dollars and stuff like that, you don't want to regret the purchase, right? And that applies to like coaching, that applies to mentorships, and that applies to like programs as well. All right. So we don't want them to regret the purchase, and that's why we show them on an actual onboarding call of what will happen through every step of the process. All right. So every step of the process is mapped out so that they understand like everything. And this is the same process that I show all my clients. All right. The same process, step by step, what happens throughout the whole process. You have to like make them certain of the decision that they're making is the right one for them. All right. So fulfillment is pretty simple. All you have to do is just care. All right. I know it's so simple, but I've been like a client success manager for like 7-figure like company. This is the simplest thing. Yeah, you just need to care. And this is the fulfillment flywheel. It applies to like every coaching business and everything. All right. So with the fulfillment flywheel, right? First, there's marketing, right? So you market your services, your products and stuff like that. And that's where you get your eyeballs, your ICP, right? So once you do like client breakdowns and client testimonials, right? They will see your proof and they will join your program, right? With the whole process that I mapped out earlier. Once they join your program, the 3 things you have to do is to set expectations, right? The first thing is to set expectations for them. The second thing is to get them to take action. And the third thing is to keep them accountable for all the actions that they take. And once you do this, right, clients will be very happy and like they will get results, right? And once they got the result, they will have a better direction in life. And that's where they will be able to scale their coaching businesses. They will be able to like have a different lifestyle. They'll be able to maybe, for example, like go to Bali and live there and stuff like that. They will change their life, right? And once they do that, they'll be super happy and they will actually like give you testimonials and referrals, which helps you to feed back into the marketing. All right. So clients will be more likely to upsell, right? They'll be more likely to retain, to buy your masterminds, to buy like higher tier stuff, upsells, right? They'll be able to refer people they know to like your stuff, right? And they can actually like get a referral fee off that. And people will actually give you a testimonial so that you can feedback to marketing. So this is an entire flywheel that you can actually leverage. And this is the most important thing. Within coaching businesses, it's not just about the marketing, it's all about the fulfillment as well. It's all about the product. And when you have a good product that helps people and changes people's lives, like you feed it back into marketing, and that's where you create like an entire flywheel that solves itself. It's automated, right? So this is the entire breakdown that I did with like all my clients and stuff like that. This is the 500K funnel and process that I walk my clients through. And yeah, like this is what got all of them results. And if you want the same results for your own coaching business and stuff like that, there's a link down in the description. Just let me know. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. All right. Peace.